Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Yakuza Like a Dragon on the Mysterious JG, and I've made things confusing for myself by playing ahead and with bourbon and coke, and so that I could grind our fully, a more involved party. Because as we've seen in these videos, this last video, we're bringing number back. Hey. So that's one reason I wanted to play ahead, I guess. Not that I thought Namba was coming back at this point, but I was under the impression that we would be getting somebody else. But yeah, I've made things confusing for myself, but I think I can pull it together. I do know that this is the correct slot for us to play from, so let's play from this slot. Chapter 9, House of Cards. After abandoning his previous identity over 10 years ago, Masato is now Ryoyoki. Kasa suspects that his debut in the political world is merely a front. Meanwhile, Omi Alliance members disguised as bleached Japan protesters infiltrate Gomiju to reveal the counterfeit bill printing facility to the public. Kasuga and his party fend off these intruders, but Xiang Hui is ultimately left with no choice but to burn down the facility to get rid of any evidence. Oh. You would think we would be talking more about Chapter 10 and the fact that we got Nanba and a sexy Korean guy, but I guess not. They do have adorable little sprites, though. So we got to meet Chairman Hoshino. We got the all-male party. Sorry, ladies, this one is for men only. Please don't worry your pretty little heads over why you can't come with us on this quest. If you need us to, we'll mansplain it later. But for now, we are on our way to Yakuza headquarters because, if memory serves, I didn't watch the last video its entirety. I just checked out the last minute or two. We are heading for a conversation. We believe now that we've saved, we've done various things to help the Wall of Muscle and the Ijin 3, having kept the Gobajul and the leader of the Chinese mafia, who was actually friendly to the Japanese mafia, intact. We are now in a position where we feel like the head of the Yakuza owes us a favor, and Ichiban knows exactly what favor he wants to call in. The head of the Yakuza made it apparent during the 8-hour, should have only been 4 hours, but I kept pausing to make asides. But during the 8-hour, see, this is a guy that earlier on, while hunting for specific enemies, I needed that spawn. But now we've got enough of them, so we can ignore. But yeah, he hinted during that conversation at the Chinese restaurant that he might know, or have an idea at least, who put the counterfeit bill in Ichiban's pocket when his body showed up here in Yokohama. How that might have come to pass. And that's one of the great mysteries of the game at this point. How did we actually get in that situation? Nanba finding the bill in Ichiban's pocket was a big part of what started happening with the plot. And all in all, I think the story would take a fairly big step forward if we actually knew what the hell's going on with that bill.
Watch me.
Meanwhile, we're going to watch him rock. This battle should not be a challenge, even if I've got, like, goofy jobs. This is the problem I had a long time ago on an emulator playing one of the Final Fantasy games that had the job system. Might have been Final Fantasy 5?
Bring it on.
I think it's 5. Isn't 4 the one that was called 2 in America? And then 6 is the one that was called 3 in America. And the one with X Death. Yeah. My problem was I wanted everybody to master every job. So I kept switching people to whatever job they didn't have yet. Not necessarily the one that would make the most sense in our party. So I'd have like 2 white mages, a red mage, and a blue mage. And couldn't figure out why I was getting my ass kicked constantly. So we're going to have a little bit of that in this game right now with the guy who should be a hero is a musician. White Rapper, not a terrible class for Adachi. Actually, now that I look at it, yeah, their classes aren't too bad. They're mostly physical. We've got Healing Mage Ichiban, which is a little weird. You know what? I'm just so glad to have everyone back. And honestly, what I should be doing is getting a picture. I don't have a problem with Jungu, whatever his name is, but I mean, come on, the party that's really back together, like the real reunion here would be Ichi, Adachi, and Nanba posing with Psycho. I mean, that's the real family that's been reunited here. Eri just not connected to the story. Jungi has just joined too recently. Certainly he doesn't have, like, history with being best buds with Nanba. Rough, roguish recruiter. Roguish recruiter, he would be a guy who's going around convincing women to become prostitutes, I guess. So it's a real class act, that guy. Alright, let's get back to the story here. And then it'll be time for drinking videos with Nanba to get his loyalty up, because it capped, because we hadn't gotten through all this this story. Boy, I love our logo.
You may enter.
And sign in, please.
Thank you, Chairman Hoshino. Captain Takabe said it would be okay for us to talk.
Xenomated for clarity.
I heard. And I believe I already know why you've come.
Well, I didn't mean to, with a new seat cover.
You've done us a great service. I would not still be leader of this clan if it weren't for you.
As a matter of fact, I owe you so much, I probably should have gotten out of my bathrobe for this meeting.
Does that mean the Seiryu clan's gonna pull through?
Obviously.
I can't say for sure yet. About 20 to 30% of our men defected to the Omi.
Well, at least you got the
The
numbers
ones who
nailed down.
stayed are grumbling behind my back. And it's hard to blame them.
You only have 33% chance of winning. But Samoa Joe, he knows he can't win, so he's not even gonna try. That means you take your 33 to 30%, you subtract that 50% chance, and now negative 24%. There's percentages involved here, and his men are whining.
They just found out the Jincho standoff was all a sham.
Yep, I'd say
Zhao
so.
told me he's giving up his position as the leader of the Liumang. Songhui is going to lead them.
Yes, I know.
Which means there's no three-way alliance anymore, and the whole thing's just gone to hell.
Just know everything, huh?
Not everything. But I'll tell you what I do know. Eventually, the Seiryu clan will succumb to the Omi alliance.
It's in our nature. We're losers.
For people who had nowhere to live outside the gray zones, the Great Wall of Muscle was their only protection.
Max Muscle,
Now it's
their
crumbling.
patron saint.
That's a matter of life or death for them. Already rumors are flying into Jincho's political circles. Rumors that Ogikubo's lost his touch.
But he's
I'm
got
sure
the
Aoki
touch.
got those whispers going.
He's got the power.
Never lets a good crisis go to waste.
Oh, really?
Aoki knows it would destroy the party if it ever revealed their chair, Ogikubo, forged money for years.
Mm-hmm.
Now Aoki can easily blackmail Ogikubo and force him to step down. Aoki will become the new party chair.
It's a game of musical chairs, but it's rigged.
Why does he want to take Ogikubo's place so bad?
Wants to become dictator of the
Party
universe.
chair manages elections, so in that role, Aoki could nominate anyone he wants.
Oh no, please don't tell me this game is going to suddenly be about election fraud. They're bamboo ballots. They're from China, and it's not even that far away.
He'll control the ruling party. Therefore, he'll control the nation.
Domination?
The whole country will be under his thumb?
Yes. Especially if I'm right about his next move. I think he's gonna try to dissolve Parliament.
He's got this giant vat of acid. He's going to shove them into it. Turn them all into the Joker. Dissolve, you know.
Dissolve Parliament? At a time like this? That's insane.
Oh, by the way, how is it that any of the characters whose viewpoints we normally follow know what we're talking about right now?
Prime Minister, I understand how you must feel, being unable to rely on Ogikubo-sensei.
Since
But
I don't
honestly,
rely on him, I know
I
exactly
have
how
the
that
power to
feels.
support you better than he ever could. If an election were held today, I could guarantee you 2/3 of the seats, minimum.
Grease this kid so I can give you 3/5.
For doing that?
Yes. I'll send Bleach Japan to the districts where the citizens' Liberal Party is weakest. Bleach Japan can influence votes anywhere. They're incredibly popular. Plus, they have my endorsement.
I'm like their mascot.
A victory for the party would, of course, move your personal political goals forward.
Oh.
I think I like the young master better, and he was
Tell me.
like embittered.
Do you think you have the power to maintain
He came
party
across less
stability
oily.
right now? We don't want it breaking up for lack of support from Ogikubo-sensei.
You can talk that way to the house, but not to me.
You should use more swear words when talking to me.
Appoint me to party chair and hold an election. If you don't, I'll be forced to make public the nature of Ogikubo-sensei's crimes.
Well, I mean, you don't have to. It's really your call.
That would mean the end of not only your administration, but the party itself.
But there's...
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it seems to me like people are are able to overlook some pretty egregious shit if they've decided like that. I don't know. They only trust the media outlet that constantly glorifies whatever party they grew up supporting.
no precedent for someone serving as both governor and party chair. Besides, you're much too young.
And handsome.
If age is what you want, start digging for some old fossil that can stop me. That is, if you think you can find one.
Well, I
Anyone
won't
in
without
particular
digging.
come to mind?
We are very short of fossils right now. So yeah, evil guy that wasn't nice to us wants to become dictator. We get it.
Aoki's scheme to destroy the Great Wall worked. Now he's got Mabuchi and the Omi at his command.
Mabuchi.
So much power. Vested in just one man.
Have we taken out Mabuchi like 3 times at this point? Or
It
twice
had
at
to
least.
be Masato Arakawa.
What? That's George Takei. Now the young master has this whole town at the palm of his hand. The young master killed the greatest man who ever lived. Blood is being spilled all because an outsider interfered. Kevin Nash, how could Arakawa-san, what I once knew, be a part of that? Why am I reading this out loud? You can read.
I know you never intended to be at the center of all this.
But you are the hero of the
Pure
game, so.
coincidence that you were there when the soap landowner died. Wouldn't you agree?
Well,
Yep.
nothing seems to be coincidence.
Lucky me.
But one thing I don't believe is a coincidence is that you ended up in Ijincho.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
What do you mean?
Do you still have that fake bill?
You mean William, who doesn't even go by Bill? That fake Bill? It's got a picture of Art Linkletter on it.
Didn't you say you knew how it ended up on me?
Yes. Only one person in the world could have put that bill in your pocket.
Who?
Percy Dub Tom Wolf.
Who is it?
Masumi Arakawa himself.
What?
Arakawa-san. No, he's the one who shot me.
Well, I mean, we all, I think, assumed that at some point the story was going to get back to Arakawa-san, since he's like, he's such a dominating figure in Ichiban's life, and I guess we're about to find out how, so maybe I should shut up and we can find out together.
Yes, I'm aware he shot you.
I can,
But did you ever
I
consider
can
that maybe
recognize his
that
bullet
same
work
would end
anywhere.
up here?
What?
Figured he was trying to kill me,
That
actually.
fake bill was his letter of introduction between you and me. It was to let me know that you were one of Masumi Arakawa's men.
Couldn't he have sent you a telegram instead of
Kind a weird
shooting
way
me?
to introduce us, don't you think?
I think what it means is Arakawa's goals do not align with those of Ryo Aoki.
You better hope that's what it means, because otherwise we're just
what
really
are our
making a lot of
goals?
false assumptions.
I really can't say. But I do know that he means business. He wouldn't have used that bill if he didn't.
By the way, you think my sleeves might be a little too big?
How exactly do you know Arakawa-san?
Well, that's a long story.
JG's gonna make it
And
even
there's a
longer.
much better place than here to tell it. Heian Tower.
But let's just skip
Your
it.
Tower.
Yes. That's where my fate intertwined with Arakawa's.
Kurosawa? I mean, Arakawa.
He sure seems to be partial to Peking duck.
I never got my Peking duck. What the hell?
Let's have it for lunch tomorrow. My treat. I'll make the reservation.
Wow, there you go. We're finally gonna get a Peking duck, I guess. Well, bye. Now I gotta be really careful to make sure I load the correct saves. Because like I said, I had quite a bit of whiskey in the system while I was just kind of playing ahead, checking out story, having fun, not worrying too much about it. But there was a logic to where I saved my game. But I don't remember necessarily. I'm not 100% sure what that logic was. I believe there will be something that I don't want to talk about yet that will trigger me to know, okay, this is probably where we were. Survive bar, jazz and karaoke. I wouldn't mind having a, I guess it's like Cheers. Like if I had a core group of friends that I went around with like all the time, beating up people on the street and having fun. And we had a bar that like Solid Snake ran, and we all hung out there, and we're allowed to sleep upstairs. I know it sounds silly, but yeah, there's some aspects of this that are like, yeah, man, that'll be fun, like hanging out with super cool buddies, adventure buddies at Solid Snake's bar. Ichiban could have things worse. Share intel with the party. That being said, and I guess you wouldn't, like, if you had a gang of adventure buddies that you were always wandering around with, you wouldn't spend all that much time at your place other than when you were sleeping. That being said, it's not a particularly impressive place. It doesn't even have a TV. We don't know what might be going on in there, but yeah, he's got some cutlery, but he doesn't seem to have a kitchen. Well, what am I talking about? It's right here. Yeah, I mean, if you had a little TV, let's see, he's got a floor mat here. If he, you know, it's the pillow under the floor mat. He's got some magazines, I guess. If he had a TV on this wall and a couple of video game systems plugged into it, I guess you get used to the whole floor, futon floor thing in Japan. Yeah, I guess it's not a whole lot of room to stretch, but you could do worse. And you're living close by Solid Snake and his bar. But anyway, it's time to advance the story. What if Solid Snake and his friend will actually be part of the story dialogue since they're right here? Oh, well, oops, I hope I didn't miss other dialogue. You good to talk, Ichiban? After hearing what you said about Chairman Hoshino earlier, there's something I'm curious about. Huh? Lay it on me then, I guess. Meanwhile, Solid Snake's back there, like, hey, what are you doing talking like that? Well, remember how he said it wasn't a chance you came to a Gene show?
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Well, while you were bleeding out from a gunshot wound, I was working my ass off to find the tools to treat you. I doubt you remember. Now, you know my gratitude is deeper than the oceans for that. Well, I think the part you'll want to know is the one who told me to treat you was none other than the chief. Wow, really? Did he call you McCloud?
Hmm?
Huh? I mean, it was the middle of the night. I was asleep, of course. The chief and a few guys came to me to panic and asked me to fix you up. But now that I think about it, why would they care? What's that supposed to mean? You don't need a motive to save a dying man, do you? If you were one of us, sure. I would have done it, no questions asked. As a matter of fact, you did do it, no questions asked. You're apparently only questioning it now. But getting involved with a shot Yakuza? That's asking for trouble. If they really wanted to save you, why didn't they drop you off at a hospital? Or call an ambulance?
Huh.
But the chief wanted to keep it in-house. Right. So I think the chief must have had a reason he wanted to save you. A reason we still don't know. I guess he might. I think it relates to what Chairman Hoshino was saying about you being here. Isn't just chance.
Go.
Yo, you think there's more to the chief than we know? Well, every hobo has a secret or two he's hiding. You know, a couple of bodies.
Hey.
If you've got time before your Peking duck date, maybe talking with the chief would be a good idea. Yeah, well, shit. If there was going to be any cool dialogue from talking to any other party members, I guess I missed it by going straight to Nanba. Unless we can get it by going right back in. They're all still the same places. Well, I don't want to talk to you again because it's going to advance stuff that I think we can just save for later. Do I have something on my face? I mean, prettiness. Hey, Psycho. Psycho is like less obsessed with her looks than that guy is. Obsessed with his own looks, I mean. Ichiban, something bothering you? I'm here to listen if it is. Oh, that's nice. Psycho is a weird one. I mean, she's an entertaining character. Like in real life, she's a little sharp. For real life. Like somebody who was quite that sharp with people that she had known for as little time as Psycho has in the real world would probably be kind of off-putting, but yeah, she can be nice. And I'd be curious to see if this crush I thought I detected on Nanba continues. Hey partner, you good? Okay, well, it looks like it was not that big a deal to have missed that dialogue. And I plowed right into that door because I forgot for a second, you have to actually... Oh, you have to actually hit X to exit. So there's a very specific thing I'm waiting for to happen. That ain't happened yet. So I guess we keep following the plot until it happens. What's confusing me is that I definitely hit a certain point in the plot and then saved so that I could grind off screen, but I think I then went and continued even further in the plot just because I felt like... So I've got a tiny bit of story ahead spoiled, but not that much, and like I said, I was enjoying some Purveyors, so I don't have a super great recall of all of it. Just keep waiting for us to hit a point where this thing happens so I can switch to a different save. And then we're going to eventually have a lot of working with Nanba in the bar to get his affinities and stuff up.
Well, I got this. Take your best shot. Want to fight? Take this.
See, we need to hurry up and finish these fights off. It's not even really that effective at doing it quickly.
I'm up.
Yeah. Hit this guy in the back of the head. Yeah.
Watch me.
Watch me rock.
Next up.
Nice thing is, you don't really gain anything by having people in your party except experience and affinity points, and that doesn't make them different. Like, once we've got them fully boozed up at Survive Bar, it doesn't really matter if they're in the party or not, so I can just play as the people that I prefer having around, and if there comes a combat situation later where somebody else is necessary, we don't suffer for having not rotated them into the party. preferable to that weird dynamic in Final Fantasy VIII where I was desperately trying to avoid getting anyone experience because there were things in like the second half of Disc 3, leveling people up would give them better stats using different abilities you didn't have access to. So even knowing that and not knowing all of the techniques to avoid getting any experience, there would be earlier times where I would intentionally play as the characters I didn't like, so that at the end of the game, the characters I did like would be, you know, buffed up. It was weird. Let's talk to the chief.
Chief,
Cloud!
my friend's got some questions about the day I was dumped in this town.
Friend, you don't mean nothing,
Yeah.
do you? He doesn't like
I
you.
want to know why you didn't just abandon Ichiban, dump him at a hospital.
Or
if
a
you don't
hospice.
mind telling us, I'm sure we'd all appreciate it.
Speak for yourself.
I see.
I see.
Fine. I'll tell you. It's as good a time as any.
What?
I said
There's
I'm
an
gonna
old
tell you.
tradition in this homeless camp. A responsibility passed down through the chiefs for many years.
Although we might change our names
What
because people are starting to say it's offensive to
On
Native
occasion,
Americans.
when we're asked, we dispose of bodies.
What?
Usually with a nice Chianti and some
Yeah.
fava beans.
There's a Yakuza family from Kamurocho who pays us to do it. They're called Arakawa.
Whoa!
Seriously? They, was this going on while they were still Tojo?
I don't know every detail, but yes. The arrangement
I
exists.
thought he was about to say, I don't know when they're Tojo and when they're not
Before I
Tojo.
started living here. We've dealt with all kinds of bodies. Whether they've been shot,
Human,
stabbed,
gorilla.
no matter how nasty. We dug holes and buried them under garbage. Who knows how many are there now? Back during the bubble, we got one every month. Or so I was told.
They were all murdered by
Since
Burst
I
Man
became
and Bubble
chief,
Man of Mega Man
It's only
fame
been 3.
during the bubble.
Arakawa the assassin.
Yeah, that's,
But there's
that's
one
his
more
deal.
secret rule. It applies to anyone the Arakawa bring here alive.
The secret rules. What is this, like ordering off the menu at In-N-Out Burger?
A secret within the secret. Great.
Circle and spiral, a
What
wheel within a
happens
wheel.
if they bring someone alive?
We're supposed to give the person medical aid, then let them go free, while pretending they're dead.
And then we sing that Pretend That We're Dead song.
In the criminal underworld, there's always people wanting to fake their own death. Gamblers, guys on the run, anyone who's afraid someone will hurt them.
Dr. Wiley, for
Send
example.
people like that here, and we honor the secret agreement. I think it might actually be a service the Arakawa family provides, but obviously they don't advertise it.
Well,
So it ended
only
up
in the
being
papers.
a very rare event.
Is that agreement why you saved me? This live body rule?
actually, you know, I just noticed that I lost a lot of hair thickness during radiation, and now it's coming back in really thick. It's changed. I've got almost like, I've got gray hair. It's not like completely jet white, but it's gray. But it kind of comes in with like the Ichiban look, actually. Like if I don't do anything except brush it back, I end up looking like Ichiban with gray hair.
You got it.
What sort of guy dropped me off here?
I mean,
Arakawa, I
probably
guess. I
just
don't know.
someone from the family. I had no reason to check or anything. The guy
love his
lugged me
hat.
out of the trunk of a car.
Pinkish,
Covered in
purplish
blood.
hat.
He paid me and left. Didn't say a single thing the whole time.
Did you notice if he was missing a finger? Did you notice if he was George Takai? It's Arakawa, because I knew these guys would save my life. He was taking a risk, considering that,
I'm sorry, Ichi.
I didn't
You
actually
have
say
to
this,
die.
but, oh, I guess I did. Eventually, I cannot offer you immortality.
What the?
That flashback felt like I was really there.
After Arakawa-san shot me, I think he said something.
It was die, you dumbass. Like, you know, I have a real son, I don't need you. No, I'm thinking, though, where this is heading is, oh, Arakawa-san knew that Ichiban would survive, and It was getting him away from the situation in Tokyo, I guess, for his own good, or maybe something else. But, like, how the hell could he know that they had Nanba, the super surgeon?
I think it was. I'm counting on you, Ichi.
Yeah, I think you were just
What would that even
hallucinating while you were bleeding out.
Clue. But the more I think about it, the more I'm sure he said that.
The more I want to believe he said that, the more I believe he said that.
Ichiban.
What?
Oh, nothing, just look.
I don't want to dash your hopes or anything. But when you were dumped here, you were on death's doorstep. You were only alive because everything I did went exactly the way we needed it to. But it
Yeah.
could have easily gone a different way. I know you want to trust our
He's making my point.
I think Arakawa-san had to shoot me.
Well, the story wouldn't have
The other
happened.
Yakuza at that meeting were watching him.
Huh?
Never mind. You don't get it.
That's what's so crescent fresh about
Not that
you.
I said anything.
Okay. It's about time to go to Heian Tower. You got lunch plans with Chairman Shino, right? And yeah, we have lunch plans with Chairman Ashino. So what we're going to do is call it a video, and when we come back next time, we're going to go to lunch with Chairman Ashino. Get that Peking duck we've been waiting for like decades at this point. Catch you guys then. Bye-bye.